Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? I hate when I start a show up and I'm not ready. Like at the last moment, everything started going crazy. I don't even have the yays ready or nothing like that, guys. I hope you guys had a great day today, man. I really appreciate you guys coming through, showing love. You know we got to do it right. Somebody in the chat is like, yay, we got to do it right, man. I'm sorry. I'm like so congested. My eyes are watering. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen of the world, I'm not crying. All right, there's a lot to cry about in this crazy world, but I'm not crying. It's just literally my allergies are just like going insane, man. I don't know what's going on here, but we're here and we're gonna power through. We got a lot to talk about today. Interesting show. Let's cue it up. Let's do it. There we go. Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys immensely for joining me today at such short notice. Aki just threw me a couple of things, and I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about kei'mani again, and we're going to be talking about kei'mani Latigue's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue's 911 call. It's going to break your heart, ladies and gentlemen, how cold and just detached and disconnected this woman sounded, man. So some of these kids, as we cover these stories, will realize, and I've realized this a long time ago, but you guys are going to realize it because you're not in this world, but you're in this world by proxy because you're true crime aficionados, and you're studying these cases. All right, you're going to realize that some of these kids never had a chance, and that's a strong thing to say because, you know, when you say that, the inclination is that, well, are we just giving up on the children, or are we just going to give up? No, we're not going to give up. All right. That's not even in our nomenclature. It's not a part of our toolbox. Giving up is not something that we'll do. But if we realize that some of these kids never had a chance, then maybe we can start putting systems in place to protect them. Maybe we need to get a little bit more serious about child protective services. There's got to be a balance, because for every story that we can talk about where a child is removed from a home, rightfully so, to save that juvenile's life, there's another story that we can talk about where child protective services have removed kiddos without just cause and just separated and destroyed good homes and then put those kids in a worse situation. I'm not saying that big government is the solution. I'm saying that whatever we're doing right now, whether it's a small government approach or a big government approach, whether you're in a conservative or a liberal state, neither one of these ideologies are working when it comes to protecting the children. Understand me, this is a bipartisan issue. We're not protecting our children no matter who's in power. So we need to literally tear down this whole infrastructure and rebuild it, and kind of like reimagine how we want to go about protecting our kids. But we can start with a basic concept. And that concept is about living in reality. And the reality is, a lot of our children never have a chance. They're literally born into toxic environments that are rife with selfish human beings that are experts of opening their legs or experts of inserting things, but they're not in any way qualified to handle the byproduct of those endeavors. And as much of an expert as they are in copulating, they're not even an expert in being safe and deciding, hey, you know what? I'm selfish. I only care about my own gratification. Let me do these adult things in a way that I don't bring more life into this world that I don't want, that I can't respect, that I don't care about. It's really weird to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you know that you're a selfish person, you don't want children, you can't take care of kids, you're not interested in taking care of kids, why have kids? Notice those are the people that have the most kids. You know, people who want kids have 1, 2, 3 kids, 4 kids max. Like, those are the people who actively want children. Like, we're going to plan, let's budget, let's get our kids. We want a big family. We want to bring love into this world. We want to foster in the next generation of the human race with love and pride and dignity and raise them to be great citizens. The people who don't want kids. The selfish ones, the mentally ill ones, the low self-esteem ones, the perpetually poor ones without a plan to even try and get out of poverty. Don't get me wrong. There's some people who want to get out of poverty and they just can't. The opportunities aren't there. The imagination isn't there. The luck is just bad, man. We all go through our most, man, this month has been a bad month for me. Well, May is a new month, so we can only pray. But April sucked. My birthday month sucked. I just had things falling and falling and falling on me left and right. But these folks who have no desire to better themselves, guess what? 10 kids. Ex-con, 10 kids. Ex-offender. Whoa, the ex-offenders, they love making kids, but then we could kind of understand why they like making kids because they kind of want to make new victims. I guess. I get it. It's diabolical, but I understand the mindset. 2 baby daddies, no problem. Let's work on the 3 and the 4th one. 7, 8 kids with 3, 4 different baby daddies. It doesn't make any sense, man. I think if we start from a standpoint where we acknowledge that some of these kids never had a chance, I think we put ourselves on a road where we can start actually trying to come up with solutions on how we can better protect these children. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it until my brain explodes. Hopefully no time soon. We're not protecting our children. We are not protecting our children, ladies and gentlemen. And I know that I could do better and you could do better. And as a society, we can all do better. We can all do better. All right. That being said, man, I want to thank you guys once again for coming to join me. I want to thank all the new people who joined the Patreon. We are now able to do live shows straight through the Patreon app. That is literally going to revolutionize the way that we do our Patreon. So please make sure if you cannot afford it, don't worry about it. We appreciate you just watching our show. But if you can and you want to join our Patreon for exclusive content, please know it's just going to get a whole lot better over there, better than it already was, because now I can talk to you guys directly without using YouTube. I could literally just go live on Patreon. And, you know, that opens up a really good opportunity because now Patreon is a safe zone. If anything ever happens to our YouTube channel, we know that there's a possibility that we could live on Patreon because they have all of the tools and all of the avenues to connect with each other that YouTube offers us, and even more. It's a much more personal experience, right? So anyway, big shout out to all the green folks who are in the chat, all the members. We appreciate you. For everybody who's not a member, we hope that you'll join the membership sometime soon. It's the most affordable membership on YouTube. Big shout out to PR, who's a 1-month member at the patrol level. She says, thanks for spreading awareness. Loving my merch, by the way. So PR won like merch from me. And like I took 10,000 years to send it to her because I kept forgetting, and I admitted it. I'm only human. And I did send her some merch. So not only did she get merch, but she also got a special secret revealed to her through her grand prize. But she's going to keep that secret because PR can keep secrets, okay? But I hope that she enjoys her merch, which she said she did. And she sent us some lovely pictures showing her modeling her merch and all that good stuff. And we appreciate you, PR. We certainly appreciate your support. Yeah, let's keep going. All right, so now let's get started. Big shout out to Shaneatra Speaks, who is definitely making her a name for herself on YouTube, highlighting. And, you know, I don't do the racial thing. That's not my thing. But I got to say this, that studies have shown it. And I always try and debunk these studies because I don't like things that divide us. All right. I don't like things that divide us. I want us to now start working toward a post-racial society where we see ourselves as just Americans. That's my goal. I know racism still exists, but I'm not going to let it dominate my life, and I'm not going to let it define me, because at some point we have to work together to say we're just red-blooded Americans. But facts are facts. And there is a fact out there that young African-American girls do not get the same amount of coverage as other races, okay? And I've tried to debunk that fact because it's a painful fact, and I can't debunk it because it's true. It's absolutely true. And so I say that to say that, and I don't know if this is her desire or her goal, but she's doing a really good job giving awareness to young African-American girls who are being ignored by the media and not covered as much by the media. And that's why I'm also making an effort myself to highlight the kei'mani, Latigues and the Naziah Harrises, etc. I'm trying my best to do my part, not even as an African-American male, but as a human being, because these children, regardless of their color, are people and they deserve to be protected. And we're picking and choosing as a society who we want to cover. Well, Shaneatra Speaks is doing a really good job covering African-American girls who have been totally... The only word that pops in my head, it may not even be appropriate, but the word that came into my brain was obliterated. Literally, obliterated. You fill in the blanks what that means. Beautiful little girls who are being obliterated. That's like the only word that pops in my head for some reason. There's a million other better words I could use, but that's the one that came into my brain. And she's highlighting these little girls, and I appreciate that. So if you're interested in knowing more and getting like these, she's trolling the Facebooks and the Twitters and all the stuff I don't have time to do to get us some very, very, very important information on the shows that she dropped. So I'm definitely rooting for her and wishing her the best on her YouTube journey. But we're going to be using her 911. She got the 911 call from Dorothy Latigue, who is kei'mani's grandmother. And just to remind you about Dorothy, Dorothy is the one who was having a conversation with herself about kei'mani being kidnapped. She was literally pretending to be kidnappers, talking to herself. How is this lady's not arrested? Well, anything is possible because Jen Soto's not arrested. Now that Jen Soto's not arrested, you cannot be surprised when any of these negligent mothers and grandmothers and stuff like that don't get arrested, when they feed their children and their grandchildren to these pedophiles. So I would be a hypocrite if I said, oh, why didn't they arrest the grandmother? Well, why didn't they arrest Jen Soto? You a negligent mom, you get a free pass in 2025. That's how we do now. 2024, the new millennia. Negligent moms, negligent grandmothers, free pass. That's what we doing. But anyway, great big shout out on Latigue. I don't know why my GPU keeps saying, oh, you're going high GPU warning. What the hell is going on here? Leave me alone. I'm trying to do a show here. Is there a way to like mute these notifications so they're not like ringing in my ear while I'm trying to do a show? Okay. It says what's focus? I don't know what that is. I don't know what focus is. Notification settings. I'm sorry, guys. Do not disturb is on and notifications. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. All right, we handled that. So we're going to go ahead and listen right now to the 911 call. Let me bring that in right now. Oh, before we do that, we got to do a little spiel. We're going to be covering this for educational purposes, guys. Viewer discretion is advised. Let me put up my warning sign. Big shout out to the research crew who made this nice warning sign. We have a whole bunch of them. I just decided gold was my color of the day. So what allows us to react to these hearings, we're going to listen to the 911 call, and we're going to do the court proceedings as well. The arraignment is that I'm an active duty sex crimes detective. I have been trained extensively in conducting investigations. I work in a very high octane and high traffic, high exposure agency. I have a lot of experience working in the pinnacle of law enforcement, and I can say that with pride because I don't tell you guys where I work, but a lot of people do know where I work, and it's not that hard to find out who I am. So it's no big deal here. I just don't tell you, right? But if you were to find out who I am and where I work for, you'll understand just how much experience and knowledge I bring to this platform. Yeah, we're at the pinnacle where I'm at. All right. So that's what we're doing here. Viewer discretion is advised. We make no content for children here, only content for adults. All right. That being said, let's jump into this. Perfect.
Police report.
Okay, what's the address?
Elm Street.
Okay, what kind of report?
A missing person.
Okay, what's your name?
Mine or hers?
Yours?
Dorothy.
Okay, and who's
Latigue.
missing?
Look at this monster. Allegedly. She's a alleged monster. Can you even say that? Can you not have an opinion on the internet without having to say allegedly? Obviously, she's not a monster. She doesn't have horns growing on her head, but I think she's a monster in spirit. Listen to how she talks about this child as she's reporting this beautiful little girl missing. This girl that, if you see her real pictures, this is not her real picture. First of all, you can clearly see that this is an Instagram photo that's been touched up. That's not Kei'mani Latigue. I'm going to show you Kei'mani. This is Kei'mani. That's Kei'mani. A very kind and nice little girl who is an absolute tomboy. Let me see if I can find another picture of Kei'mani. Maybe Shaneatra sews it. Nope, she just does the herring. Kei'mani is an absolute tomboy. Why? Look at her. Look at this.
Never change.
She's an absolute tomboy. Did I miss it? I think I missed it. Here we go. I don't have it here. Obviously, I'm using what Shaneatra did on this particular video, but she's an absolute tomboy. And why is she an absolute tomboy? Why does this little girl look like a little boy 90% of the time when you see her later on in her life? Because she's trying to protect herself. Because this man, and I believe others, were doing very horrible and cruel things to her. The tomboy facade, we don't know what this girl's feelings were about herself. That was, I'm not pretty. Why do you want me? I'm trying to make myself as unpretty as possible so you're not interested in me. It was a self-defense mechanism. That's what that was. When you see this little girl from here, cute little girl, to the tomboy, the other ones where she got the military fatigue pants and a t-shirt and the tight bra to hold down her chest and all that stuff, and you asking yourself, wow, man, how'd this pretty little girl's girl turn into this little man? I'll tell you why, because this little girl wants to protect herself from these monsters, from people like him. But we live in a society that will just put him in jail for 30 years, for 20 years, if that. He needs to be off this earth. He does not deserve to be amongst us. He doesn't deserve to eat and breathe the same air that we breathe after what he did to Kei'mani. If you don't know what he did to Kei'mani, this is your first time watching this. This man took this girl from her home, bounded her hands, almost took off her head and took off her arms after essaying her. And he's supposed to be her father. Now, we're hearing all this stuff on the internet. He may not be a dad. He may be a dad. I don't know, and I don't effing care. All we talking about is icing on a diabolical cake. It's still a diabolical cake. Whether he's a family friend or her pops, he's evil. And he doesn't deserve to breathe our air. We need to bring back capital punishment. There was a time I didn't believe in capital punishment. There's a time I didn't believe because, you know what? What if we put an innocent person to sleep? The have a nap. Then we're all murderers. There's got to be some middle ground that we could travel where we can say, okay, we just don't use it in every case. If we have the video evidence and we have the DNA evidence and we have the witness evidence and the circumstantial evidence and the fingerprints, if we have all that stuff in its totality, kill him. If we fall short on any of those things, life in prison. I get it. But we need to put these people to sleep because they are not like us. They're not like the rest of us. They don't deserve to be amongst us. Because sometimes we let them go. Sometimes we let them go. I was looking up old cases. Elizabeth Smart, the wife of the man who kidnapped Smart, the wife who fed Smart, the wife who helped the man hold Smart down, she's free right now. She did 15 years in prison. She's free. If we let Stephen Stearns live, there's a possibility he might go free one day. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, Kim Kardashian's great-grandkids come up and say, oh, they made a mistake in the court proceeding, and this was the phone. You know the phone we talk about right now? The phone. It was illegally searched, and then they do some hearings, they do some appeals, and then they get a liberal prosecutor in there, and then it's like, yo, let him go. Look at those brothers. I'm not saying those brothers. What's the name of those brothers, chat? The brothers from California that might be going free soon who killed their parents. I don't know too much about the case. What I know is that they ended their parents, but people are saying that those brothers were ex-abused by the Menendez brothers. Some people are saying that the father did horrible things to the brothers. I don't know. I don't have all the facts. What I do know is that those people were sentenced to life in prison. Look what's happening right now. They got a new prosecutor. They got celebrities backing them. They're about to go free. Now, maybe they deserve to go free. Once again, I don't know all the details, so I'm not gonna go hard on the Menendez brothers without knowing all the details about what they went through. Because if their daddy was doing horrible things to them, I'm not mad at them for doing what I'm asking for them to do for Darnel Jones and for Stephen Stearns. They shouldn't have done it. They should have went to the cops, but I'm not mad at them if daddy was doing those things to them. But just as easy as the Menendez brothers could possibly escape a life prison, we put them in jail decades ago and thought we could forget about them. And now look, they're about to go free. It can happen for anybody. That's why when we get their arses, we need to put them to sleep. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm sorry. I just went all off of this topic. I'm sorry. But you know how I feel about these dudes. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
According to Dorothy. Now, Dorothy, listen to this 911 recording.
Police report,
Okay, what's the address?
Elm Street,
Okay, what kind of report?
missing person.
Okay, what's your name?
Mine or hers?
Yours?
Dorothy,
Okay, and who's
Latigue.
missing?
Kei'mani.
Is this your daughter or son?
This is my granddaughter.
Okay, do you have custody?
I do.
Okay, how old is she?
13.
How long ago she's been missing?
To the best of my understanding, she's just been missing this morning. And I called her school and went up to her school, and they said she's not there.
What school does she go to?
Spring.
Do you remember?
Mind you, this child has no history of running away. Child is a straight A student. Child was receiving the kindness award. She was a compliant child. That's the ones that the PDs love. The PT files, PETEY file. I'm saying it just the way I want to say it. You guys should start saying that too. I like PT file. I don't like that PDF thing because I be using a lot of PDFs. I don't want to mix it up. I like PT file. That's the ones that the PT files like. The compliant ones. The ones that get kindness awards. The ones that get good grades. The ones that make TikToks and like to make people smile. That's the ones that they target. Those are the ones that keep the secrets. That's why you got to raise those ones to be powerful and to love themselves and to know that they're appreciated so they can have the courage to come forward when something untoward is being directed toward them or happens to them. But those are the ones that they look for. The quiet ones. with the dead eyes. Let's keep
Did
going.
you see what she was wearing before she left?
No, she's usually going to school before I get home from work.
Okay. Is she black, white, or Hispanic?
She's black. She looks Hispanic.
Okay. And then what was her last name?
Latigue.
Your phone number?
419.
Okay. Does she have a phone on her that you're aware of?
She does, and it's dead because it's going straight to voicemail.
And this is the thing, right? Grandma is reporting a child that's missing that has no history of this type of behavior. She has no history of this behavior. So you should be in a panic. You should be upset. You should be concerned because, listen, don't get me wrong, guys. I've been in this business for a while. I've met families where if the child go missing, they're just like this. And if you understand the history of the family, you would be the same way too. If your child goes missing every freaking week and you got PINS warrants on them, you got the courts involved, you got them going to psychologists, their school is involved, and you get that call for the 60th time, guess what? You're human. You're a survival instinct as an individual is going to kick in. You're going to start getting numb to it. Just like I'm numb to these cases because I see them every day. You know what I was doing last night? I was investigating a sexually motivated burglary till 4 a.m. last night. That's what I was doing. And I'm here right now. Person wakes up, guy's in there trying to do the worst. You don't see me crying. You don't see me losing. It's just another day at work. I'm desensitized. I've been doing it for so long. It's just another day at work. Your kid goes missing every single week. Yeah, she's missing again. He's missing again. Yeah, his name is this, that. His phone's not working. That's how that works. But there's no history in kei'mani being like that. Kei'mani's a good girl. Kei'mani doesn't run away from the hell that she lives in. She returns every single day like a good girl, does her homework, and tries to go to sleep, hopefully to get a night unmolested. That's kei'mani. So grandmother is acting like kei'mani is a bad child that does this all the time and it's no big deal, and she's just doing her paper trail to protect her when CPS comes. But that's not the truth. Her affect is not appropriate for what's currently happening and for the child that it's happening to. But let's keep going.
All right, we'll be out then. They'll be out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, bye.
All right. So let's go over now. That's the extent of the 911 call. Now I want to go over to the arraignment. Let's keep going. And I'm not drinking an energy drink. This is coconut water, by the way. Sparkling coconut water. It's got no calories in it. It's like 70 calories. It's good stuff. It's not too sweet, and it's good for you. Get you hydrated. Get those electrolytes up. Somebody said she looks like a light-skinned black girl. kei'mani is black. Her mother is a African-American woman. And at this time, either her father is Darnel and he's a fair-skinned African-American male, or some unknown person, because some people are saying that Darnel is not even her biological father. It's possible her father could be Caucasian for all we know, but her mother is my complexion and Darnel is her complexion. All right, well, fast forward a little bit. Somebody said if I ever tried the Starburst lemon sparkling water, actually, it's pretty good. 0 calories too. When I first had it, I lost my mind. I was like, I was in a police academy when I first had it, and I was like, this has 0 calories, and everybody was looking at me. I was like, yes, it has 0 calories. It was kind of funny. I was so surprised. I screamed out, and like 100 people like looked at me, and they were like, "Yay, 0 calories!" It was stupid. You get dumb in these police academies. It's retarded. It's like the movie sometimes. All right, let's fast forward. Let's see this demon get arraigned. Another demon. Crystal says she never tried coconut water. Crystal, go back to sleep. Where you been at? What's wrong with you? Crystal never been kissed before. She never had coconut water. She never been kissed. All right, let's get serious. All right, guys, the audio is very low and it's not my fault, okay? Let's see if it gets a little bit better, but please know, once again, it's not my fault.
Charges against Mr. Jones. I will go over those charges and death penalty specifications and cover a lot of other necessary ground today. Let the record reflect Mr. Jones is present today as our assistant prosecutors, Ms. Latigue Wilson, Ms. Cook, Mr. Klukas, defense attorney David Klukas. Mr. Jones, of course, is here with his with them. And by them, I also mean Ms. Baronis, who is here. Court staff, members of the press, security personnel, and members of the public. This hearing is being preserved for the record by Sarah.
Look at this demon. Look at that demon. Well, we know he's alive because they got his ass. They shot his ass up when they apprehended him. Good job on those cops, you know. So we know he's alive. Look at him. He's here. He's with us. He's amongst us. But look at him.
We've got a lot to cover, so I ask for everyone's patience, perseverance, and best behavior. Mr. Jones, there's a lot of people here today. You can tell. And I can appreciate if you're anxious or if you're nervous. I want you to do your best to focus on me and the questions I'm going to ask you and the information I'm going to give you, okay? Now, as we said, I have a lot to go over. I want to make sure you understand as best you can, okay? Yes, sir.
All right, I tried to put the volume up. Let me know if it's better, okay?
Well, I go by Ogletree, Darnel Ogletree. They got it as Jones.
Okay, can you explain why do they have Jones and why do you call yourself Ogletree?
My birth name is Darnel Ogletree, and my adopted name is Darnel Jones.
Okay.
But ever since I was like 19, I've been under Ogletree.
All right. So this is one. I want to see if they because they posted 2, the same news channel. I want to see if the second version has better audio. It's possible that the news could have said, all right, our audio is so bad, let's post it again. So give me a second. Let me try and work this out for us because we deserve better. We got to hear this correctly. All right. Definitely want to see if we get a better audio.
All right. For anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you taking those medications? Do you need help with anything? Please let
No, I don't. It doesn't sound better. The second one sounds the same. Let me see if there's any other news channels that are covering it. Maybe they had closer mics. That happens a lot. They'll have a better mic. No. Nobody else is covering it. Let's go ahead back up to the one we was at originally.
does your birth certificate say Ogletree or does your birth certificate say Jones?
Jones.
It says Jones?
Yeah, but like my social security card, my ID, all my taxes, everything's been under Ogletree.
Okay. Where were you born?
Ohio.
Okay. Where were you raised and where do you live?
I live in Cleveland, Columbus, and Toledo, but mainly Toledo.
Excellent. Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you speak, read, and write in English?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you speak, read, or write any other language?
No, just English.
Just English, okay. And do you have any problems reading, hearing, seeing?
No.
Do you wear contacts?
Sometimes I wear reading glasses, but
Okay, well, there's going to be some stuff to read today. And for instance, we have an indictment you can see on the big screen there, the screen in front of you. I'm going to be reading part of that. So if at any time you need help with anything, please let either your attorneys or let me know, all right?
yes, sir.
All right. How about hearing aids, anything like that?
No, sir.
All right. You hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to ask you that you speak up when you can, okay? Are you taking any medications?
The pain meds for the accident, and they got me on some psychotic meds, the anxiety.
For anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you taking those medications pursuant to a doctor's order?
Yes.
Okay, are you taking them according to those instructions?
Yes.
All right. Do those medications affect your ability to understand what I'm telling you?
No, sir.
Does it affect your ability to answer my questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Once again, if I go too fast or you don't understand something, just let me know, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, fair. Have you been diagnosed or treated for any mental illness?
Yes, sir.
What kind?
Depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, ADHD, ADD. It's been a lot. Can't name it all.
I don't want to get too much into your personal medical records, but the reason I'm asking you this is, I want to make sure, and I'm sure your attorneys want to make sure you understand.
So he got-
what I'm asking you. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Everything is wrong with him. Do you hear that list? Everything is wrong. Bipolar, schizophrenia, ADHD, then the other DDs and all that. He's got depression. He's got everything. Everything is wrong with him. Everything is wrong with him. Let's keep going.
Asking you right now is to make sure that if you have any kind of medical condition, physical condition, handicap, it doesn't impair you from answering my questions and understanding what I'm talking about. Okay? Agree?
Yes, sir.
All right. We need, as I said earlier, to review some very important matters, starting with your right to counsel, your right to an attorney. Now, you have the right, Mr. Jones, to hire your own attorney with your own money. You have the right to represent yourself, which I highly discourage in the strongest terms I can tell you.
Somebody say he went to the Gen Soda pharmacy.
Now, if you wish to hire an attorney,
Nah, he didn't, because
I'll give you time to
if he
do
went to the
that.
Gen Soda pharmacy, he would have never did that to Kei'mani. He'd have just been asleep. Gen Soda pharmacy is the pharmacy of sedation. They just put you to sleep. You know, Jen sedated herself. She was asleep. Then Jen sedated Maddie. She was asleep. You know, Stearns, he was the technician. He was the pharmacy technician. He wasn't taking her prescriptions. He was just helping her fulfill them. So that's why he wasn't asleep. Unbelievable.
So you can get some money together and hire an attorney. Now, if you hire your own counsel, there is no requirement that he, she, or they be certified to handle what we call a capital case, a case involving the possibility of the death penalty. The record indicates that you were over in municipal court before Judge Nicole Curry, and at that time, I believe...
I feel like roasting this guy. Put my wig on.
Okay.
We roasting today.
I anticipated that you might be asking me to appoint you an attorney or attorneys over here. That's why we contacted Mr. Klukas and Mr. Coronas to see if they would be willing and able to represent you in the matter. Now, the reason we contacted them is because they are both certified by the Supreme Court of Ohio.
Problem is I can't hear
to represent
anything.
defendants in cases like this. Both of your attorneys, who may be your attorneys, but if you want me to appoint them, are so certified. Now, I would appoint Mr. Klukas as your trial lead counsel and Ms. Baronis as trial.
I gotta put it under here because I can't hear anything because it's so soft.
In anticipation of your appointment, Mr. Klukas, I believe you met with your putative client.
I have, Your Honor, on 3 occasions, and Ms. Baronis has also met with him as well.
Have you prepared an affidavit of indigency?
I have filed an approach.
These guys are heroes, man, defending this monster. Judge, you got to fix that mic in that courthouse.
Disclosure form has been completed, and I want to ask you, Mr. Jones, I know you say you go by Ogletree, but you signed your name Darnel Jones, correct? Okay. Is your signature right there? All right. Court finds, in fact, given that what you have reflected in your form, that you are, in fact, indigent. The court includes your affidavit. The entry that the court issued setting this arraignment and appointment of counsel hearing references a discussion that your attorneys and attorney for the state of Ohio had with me in chambers that was on April 24th, I believe, earlier this week.
Somebody says he signs his name as PD File. He is not out on bail.
Is there anything you'd like the record to reflect that beyond what is in that order of what we discussed in chambers?
No.
Mr. Lucas?
No, Judge.
Do you have any questions about that, Mr. Jones?
No, sir.
Now, I know Mr. Lucas went over this with you. I want to go over it with you, too.
Oh, boy.
As you know, Mr. Jones, Mr. Klukas' son, London Klukas, who's here in the courtroom, is an employee of the Lucas County Prosecutor's Office. Did you know that?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that I am going to be ordering your attorney, father, Mr. Klukas, Dave, not to have any communication with his son, London, about this case? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You so agree?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Liptak Wilson, Lawyer Office, wall off London Klukas from any participation in the investigation, research, strategy, discussion, and any and all facets of the prosecution of the case.
Yes, Judge, we will ensure that takes place. We've had discussions with Mr. London Klukas already. We also put in place some security measures in the online case management system that the case documents will be uploaded into.
Thank you very much. Mr. London Klukas, I'll ask you, will you agree to have nothing at all to do with the case and take affirmative measures
That's his son right there.
to absent yourself from any discussion whatsoever about the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That's cool. He became an attorney like his dad. That's good. I like that, man. I like when you know, he raised his son. Son came out to be a nice gentleman, and he became an attorney. That's what's up.
Now, given what I just heard, Mr. Jones, I find that there is almost certainly not a real conflict of interest here. And any potential conflict of interest now has been avoided because of what you've heard them promise the court that they're going to do and not do. Okay? But I want to ask you, sir, if you yourself are satisfied that Mr. David Klukas can continue to represent you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions and concerns about that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that
Some
father and
captions
son
on
will
it.
see each other,
Yes, sir.
probably be at family events and dinners and maybe go to a Tigers game or something like that together. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that any father and son will be talking with each other about various things, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is kind of getting dragged out a little bit. We've all seen arraignments. Of course, I've seen arraignments, a billion of them, and you guys have watched arraignments. Some of you have been a part of arraignments. Some of you are attorneys. Some of you guys have made mistakes or supported people who have made mistakes. It's taken a long time. I'm not saying I'm in a rush to go anywhere. I mean, but it seems a little overly dragged out for some strange reason. Yeah. My daughter's asking if I could come pick her up. I think I'll be available too. I said okay, I'll pick her up. But yeah, it's just it seems just a little dragged out. Arraignments don't usually take this long. Let's keep going.
They promise not to talk about the case in each other's presence, even directly, at any time.
I think it's because the judge is a little long-winded. Like he over-explains things. Like just that interaction he had. And don't get me wrong, that he's probably doing that on purpose because when it comes to court, that's never a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing because he could never say, oh, there was some collusion between my attorney and his son who works for the prosecutor, so I had ineffective counsel. He can't say that because the judge has said, listen, they're going to be talking on the phone. They're going to be going to games together. They're going to be hanging out. They're going to be this. They're going to be that. They're going to be doing father and son things. So now that he laid it out the way he did, Darnel can never come back 5-10 years down the road and say, listen, I shouldn't have had an attorney who was related to somebody who works in the prosecutor's office. So I get that. I get it. But this is dragging.
Does that make sense?
Let's keep going.
Mr. London Lucas will be walled out from any participation in this case while he works for the prosecutor's office. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, if you want some time to think it over, I'll give you that time. If you want me to appoint another attorney for you, I'm happy to do that. But since you're willing to go forward with Mr. David Lucas as your attorney, I see that he has provided to the court a waiver in writing, which I'm showing you here from the bench. Have you seen this document before?
Yes, sir.
I think a copy of it might be on your counsel table as well. On the second page, I'm showing you here from the bench, Mr. Jones. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll make sure that that waiver of potential conflict of interest is filed with the record of the case. Have a couple of questions now, Mr. Jones, for your attorneys, okay? So I'll ask Mr. Klukas and Ms. Baronis, please confirm you are both certified to be appointed as trial lead counsel pursuant to the rules for appointment of counsel in capital cases.
I am.
I am as well, Your Honor.
Please confirm that you will remain so qualified throughout the entire pendency of this case.
I will.
I will also.
Please confirm that your law offices are...
Yo, I've never heard this before, where like a defense attorney is being made to like pledge to performing the service for the defendant. Like they're saying an oath. This must be some Michigan thing. Like I've never heard that before.
located in Ohio.
Mine is.
Yes, it is.
Please confirm that your workload outside this case will allow you ample and sufficient time to devote to this case, and that this case will, when necessary, take precedence over your other professional...
They're in Ohio? Sorry.
Absolutely.
That is correct.
This is Ohio. I'm sorry.
Mr. Lucas, as trial lead counsel, please confirm that you will bear overall...
Oh, you guys got enough going on in Michigan. Isaiah Harris.
And both of you, I'll ask, will you endeavor to provide high-quality representation to Mr. Jones throughout the case?
Yes, we will.
That's correct, Your Honor.
They are very well qualified, Mr. Jones. They have been certified by the Supreme Court of Ohio to handle death penalty cases. I want to make sure that you're confident in your attorneys, okay?
Yes, sir.
Would you like me to formally appoint them for you today?
Yes, sir.
So ordered. If during the pendency of this case, counsel, it's necessary for me to appoint additional attorneys, please bring that to my attention.
We will.
Your Honor.
On your table, counsel, I have the appointment of trial counsel form, which is required to be filed both in this case and
Oh, boy.
the court.
This thing is dragging.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Will counsel need to make any advance arrangements to meet, to show evidence, discuss evidence, et cetera, with Mr. Jones?
We'd appreciate a little notice based on our security measures. Call the corrections administrator's office.
And of course,
Over
You
counsel.
skip around.
okay. Captain Schnur? Any security concerns that you would like to have addressed today?
Given the high-profile nature of the case, we are asking that once the proceedings have started, that we don't allow any additional members of the public in at each session after the proceedings have started. Also, that we would like to, we will be prohibiting, or we would ask the court to prohibit spectators from loitering in the hallways during the proceedings. The court.
So the courtroom security guys, the Nazis that work in there, let me stop. I hate when people like throw that word Nazi around. Like, that's terrible. Like, come on. You know, that's a specific thing that happened in our history that nothing can compare to. But they basically want to shut down the court. Like, they want to limit the amount of people that could come and watch and all that stuff. And I 100% don't agree with that. And I hope the judge doesn't agree with that either. And this is not attorneys who's saying this right now. This is the security guys. This is the court officer guys. Like, let's not overstep our boundaries here. Your job is to protect the court, do your job. Do not interfere with the people's ability to be a part of these proceedings, because that is what makes us great as Americans. I think one of the worst places to do a trial is in New York, and it's because they don't allow cameras in New York. And I think that that is un-American, and I think it should be unconstitutional. I honestly believe that all courtroom proceedings should be public proceedings, because it's literally, especially when it's criminal. Civil is different. I think civil is a dispute between two people or a person in an entity or two entities, whatever. That's private. But when it comes to criminal, as we say in this country, a crime against a person is a crime against all of us, which means that we all have a vested interest in understanding how that process goes. And to be honest with you, there's nobody who pays for their own prosecution. The people pays for the prosecution. So I think like if a victim, not to say this crazy because I got none but love for victims and I support victims, but if a victim wants a criminal proceeding to be private, then I think that victim should pay for it. And that's not being mean, because if you don't want to pay for it, then don't. We'll pay for it, as we always do, but it has to be public. Or if a perpetrator doesn't want their case to be tried in the public, then that perpetrator should pay for both, not only their defense, but also for the prosecution. And then you can have it private. So long as public dollars are paying for these proceedings, these criminal proceedings, they should be public for everybody to see. Let's keep going. That's my opinion.
Has taken steps to broadcast the proceedings on the televisions on the first floor, and we would ask that to be a reasonable accommodation for the public to have access to the trial or any proceedings once the courtroom is full.
Objections?
No.
Any objection from the state?
No.
We are now and we will continue in the future to broadcast all proceedings in this case for anybody who cannot fit in the courtroom, which is not the problem today. We have empty seats. But we will be broadcasting everything to the two monitors that are on the first floor by the snack shop. It's an amply sizable space for any member of the public to come and use, so that we can ensure that Mr. Jones doesn't have a secret trial, but that you have a public trial that you're entitled to. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I would also endeavor to hold future hearings, pre-trials and the like, on Friday mornings at 9, so as not to interfere with the other business being conducted in the court. Wednesdays, this is an off one for us because I wanted to make sure that we had the arraignment as soon as we could. But going forward, I would anticipate using Fridays at that. Okay. All right. Counsel, do you have any questions of either Captain Coleman or Captain Schmidt?
We do not.
Any from the state? Okay. Let's go to the arraignment. As you see on the screen in front of you, Mr. Jones, and there's actually a paper copy that you're being handed right now, is the indictment.
All right, now they get into it finally.
Usually, the
judge then spoke to everybody in the courtroom. He's like, what does the defense think about this? What does the prosecutors? What does security think about it? What does the reporters think about it? What does the John Q. Citizen think about this? What does the building engineer and the maintenance man think about this? Is there any other accommodations that we need to put out there? Like, you got people talking about immigration in there, tax cuts. Like, the judge went through everybody. He didn't solve world peace. Now, finally, we're going to be talking about the arraignment. Thank you, Judge.
Indictment is waived, and Mr. Lucas, I believe you would have no problem with the court waiving before reading the indictment.
No, in fact, we would offer a waiver.
Somebody said the court about to have a call-in show. We haven't had one of those in a while.
What I'd like to do is then, rather than read the whole thing word for word, which will take us a half hour, I want to go over with you the nature of these charges, because I want you to know them so that you have as much information as you need to deal with your
You know what you did, Darnel Jones.
pertinent, relevant questions, and all of that, okay? All right, so let's begin. And then, as I said, it's on the screen too, if that's easier for you to read that one. All right, so the indictment has a case number on it, has your name on it, and has some operative dates. This indictment, Mr. Jones, contains in it 15 different counts. A count is simply a charge that you violated the law. Let's start with the first one here. You've got count 1, aggravated murder, UF means unclassified felony with specifications. And it alleges that you did purposely and with prior calculation and design cause the death of kei'mani Latigue in violation of those code sections, making it aggravated murder. Now you're going to see beneath that felony murder specification, which alleges that you committed, attempted to commit, or were fleeing immediately after committing or attempting to commit rape, and either the offender, you, were the principal offender in the commission of the aggravated murder, or if not the principal offender, you committed the aggravated murder with prior calculation and design.
Nasty.
Does that make sense?
That also says felony murder. It's the same as the one I just read with the replacement. Instead of rape, it says kidnapping. And the third felony murder specification replaces rape or kidnapping with aggravated burglary. Otherwise, those three specifications are essentially the same. You'll see on the next page that there is also a murder to escape specification, which reads that the offense was committed for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension.
Mind you, somebody just brought up in the chat that the house that she was found in was burned down. You know, I just hate the ignorance that exists in some communities. You guys understand that the police weren't done processing that crime scene? They literally, and it wasn't anybody who supported Darnel Jones. I know for a fact, well, I don't know for a fact, it's just my feeling that it was somebody who thought, oh, this is a blight on the community. We have to get this house out of here because that's where kei'mani was unalived. And, you know, they thought they was doing something good. In actuality, they helped this dude. They helped him because the police weren't done processing that crime scene yet. There's still more work they wanted to do in that house. And some fool burned it down thinking that they were being a hero. It irks me beyond the pale how ignorant some people are, man. It bothers me. Like, I don't understand how some people don't want to learn. Like, my whole life is about learning. All I want to do is learn. There's some people who just shut their brains off and they just accept their ignorance and wallow in it and live a life of mediocrity. Like, come on, man. Elevate yourself.
Trial or punishment for another offense committed by you, to wit, rape, kidnapping, and or aggravated burglary. Below that is what's called a sexual motivation specification, and it says that you committed the offense with a sexual motivation. Finally, it says sexually violent predator specification, saying that you are a sexually violent predator.
You heard that?
It says all of the same things.
Does that make sense?
Other than it alleges that you did purposely cause the death of kei'mani Latigue while committing or attempting to commit, or while fleeing immediately after committing or attempting to commit the offense of rape.
You hear that? He breaking down what this guy said. I hope you guys can hear it because the sound is terrible. Somebody said the house was scheduled for demolition. Exactly. It was scheduled for demolition, meaning, yes, we're going to be tearing this house down, but we have until what date? Yeah, that's a good date for us. We'll be done by then. Not, it's scheduled for demolition, so now you can do whatever you want and burn it down with arson if you'd like. No. Scheduled for demolition as in, yeah, we're going to tear it down. The date is whatever the date is. We'll be done by then, but we still have some things we want to do in that house. Let's keep going.
Aggravated murder and unclassified felony. You'll see the same essential specifications: felony murder times 3, the murder to escape specification, and the other two specifications that were attached to count 1. I won't read those again for you. Since your attorney rather is waived reading. So we're going to count 3, which is another aggravated murder charge, alleging you purposely caused the death of kei'mani Latigue while committing or attempting to commit kidnapping. You'll see the same specifications in count 3 as you saw in counts 1 and count 2, with the names of the offenses changed where appropriate. And then there's count 4, which is the last aggravated murder charge against you. It reads similarly to the ones I just read. Okay. We'll move down to count 5. Count 5 is different. It's rape, a felony of the first degree with specifications, which alleges that you did engage in sexual conduct with kei'mani Latigue when you purposely compelled her to submit by force or threat of force, constituting rape a felony of the first degree. That charge has a sexually violent predator specification.
Yeah, I guess I get it, man. This guy's in court and he needs to be up to date on this stuff. But like, why is he like following along and reading like he's in a lecture or something? Like, you know what you did. You know what you did to that little girl. Like, he's following along and reading like he's in the DMV and they explain to him that new, what's those enhanced IDs we all got to get? Like, oh, you got to fill out line 5 and you need your birth certificate and your social security card. And if you look to line 3, you got to sign over there. Like, he's looking in the paper like, no big deal. Like, he's literally about to take a test. You know, he's about to get his driver's license. You know, he's just following along or something. Like, that irks me. It's almost like he doesn't even care about his predicament. Like her life just did not matter. Like, it really does irk me. Like, look at his demeanor. What are you following along and reading? Everything that's in that darn paper, you know that you did it. You lived it. You don't need to follow along and read with the judge. You are a monster pedophile. You should be crying right now. You should be begging for forgiveness, man. You should be keeping your eyes down in your crotch. You shouldn't even be looking up. You shouldn't even be looking around. You should just be wallowing in pitiful sorrow for the crimes that you've committed against humanity. That wasn't even just a crime against kei'mani. That was a crime against humanity. Like, I don't understand how these people disconnect themselves from reality. Like how Stephen Stearns really believes that he didn't kill Maddie. Like, he knows he killed her, but like, if I say it enough, that it's not going to hurt enough. It's not going to hurt anymore. Like, I really believe I didn't do it. Like, look at this guy. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Count 6 is similar. It alleges it's a count of rape with a specification. It alleges that you did engage in sexual conduct with kei'mani Latigue while you purposely compelled her to submit by force or threat of force. Again, rape or felony of the first degree. And it's got that same sexually violent predator specification.
Oh my God.
Count 7.
Not flinching. The judge is talking about him taking advantage of kei'mani's body. And he's not even flinching. Not even flinching.
Is a count of kidnapping. It's a felony of the first degree with specifications. Now that alleges that you did, by force, threat, or deception, remove kei'mani Latigue from the place where she was found or restrain her liberty for the purpose of engaging in sexual activity with kei'mani Latigue against her will in violation of the law constituting the offense of kidnapping. Furthermore, the victim of the offense is alleged to have been under 18 years of age. That kidnapping charge carries with it both the sexual motivation and sexually violent predator specifications. Count 8 is also a kidnapping charge, alleging that you did by force, threat, or deception remove kei'mani Latigue from the place where she was found or restrain her liberty for the purpose of facilitating the commission of rape or flight thereafter, also constituting a charge of kidnapping, a felony of the first degree that has the sexual motivation and sexually violent predator specifications attached to it. And you'll see in count 9, that's the third kidnapping charge, alleging that you did by force, threat, or deception remove kei'mani Latigue from the place where she was found or restrained her liberty for the purpose of terrorizing or inflicting serious physical harm on kei'mani Latigue or another violation of the revised code. Also kidnapping, a felony of the first degree with the same 2 specifications as the other 2 kidnapping charges. When we get down to count 10, it's now aggravated burglary, a felony of the first degree. Now that alleges that you did by force, stealth, or deception trespass